Now the Nifty Bank 2 intermediate on the intraday basis has hit fresh highs. Gautam Shah, founder and chief strategist at Goldilocks Premium Research, joins us on the show. Gautam, fantastic call. I saw your tweet yesterday when the markets were flattish, but you were confident that we will move ahead. Now the question is, that is done and dusted. What's next?
Morning, Neeraj. I think it's going to get better and better. I think after a long time, you have a scenario wherein markets are at highs and there is just no euphoria, there is no real participation, and people continue to talk about the disconnect between the large caps and the mid caps. But I think I must make the point that the texture of this market is changing quite a bit. In the last 18 months, every time the Nifty went on to make a new high, it was the typical 4-5 stocks, that did well. But now when you look at an HDFC Bank or a Bajaj Finance or, stocks, which have done so well in the last 6-12 months, many of them have actually taken a back seat. So the argument which is in the marketplace right now, whether quality is going to take a back seat, that is actually happening. And some of the high beta names are now, are taking this market higher, which is great news. So the chart setup continues to look rock solid, even at 12,100. We have been working with a near-term target of 12,300. So I think we should get there in this current run. But eventually, I think over the next few months, we should see the Nifty moving towards a level of 13,000. So we recommend, an entry even at current levels. One needs to be a little sector specific, and many sectors, which underperformed in the last many months, like pharma and auto and oil and gas, have made a comeback. So I think with a strong base established around 11,700, 800, I think this market is headed much, much higher, and the global setup has got only better. So that's going to help Indian markets going forward. All
right. Gautam, let's talk levels and let's talk, which pockets now are looking like, they're about to offer great trading opportunities to traders, if not investors, or maybe even a slightly longer term perspective. We're seeing cyclicals actually starting to turn around. Is that the new pocket of interest?
Well, it does look like, but then, you have to take a very stock specific kind of a call in that space. My favorites remain in the form of banking, oil and gas, and pharma. I think these are the three pockets that are moving with the market, showing a lot of relative strength. So for now, I think I would remain in these three sectors. And I think many stocks have built a strong foundation over many weeks and many months. And therefore, the manner in which the market is absorbing any negative news flow, I think that's a very positive sign. So I think the rally is broadening out, and cyclicals, as a basket will also do well.
Gautam, are you saying that the relative performance of the cyclicals might be better than the relative performance of, say, the blue chip names like HDFC Bank, HDFC, Bajaj Finance, Kotak Bank?
Yes, Neeraj, that's the view.
Okay. And then part two of my question is, therefore, would you reckon that the mid-cap end of the market, and these are loosely defined terms, but I'm just for the sake of argument, I'm saying the non-Nifty 100 names and quality names out there, or names which are looking at the charts, could actually give a better performance than some of the larger names too?
That's also the view, Neeraj. I think the Nifty Junior, or the next 50 as we call it, I think is a basket that looks very interesting at this point of time, because at least you have some fundamental backing there. And, they are stocks that move greatly on momentum. On the mid-cap index itself, I think getting past 17,000 yesterday qualifies as a breakout which has been waiting to happen for almost 6 months now. And if this indeed is a breakout, which is my view, you could see the mid-cap index head towards a level of 18,500. So I'm talking of a 10% move on the mid-cap index in the next couple of months. And if that were to happen, I think Nifty might not do as well, because a 10% move on the Nifty is a little far-fetched. But I think the gap between the mid-caps and the small and the large caps, that's going to narrow over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So people's portfolio will start having the impact of returns. And I think that's something which market participants have been looking forward to for many months, even a couple of years now.
Gautam, while take your point in the mid-cap story, it can't be compared to what the index does. So when you talk about the index moving high, you can pinpoint and say okay, these are 40% is financial. So if financial does well, index does well. Reliance Industries has a 10 to 11% weightage. So if Reliance does well, the index does well. The mid-cap is so diverse and dispersed in terms of the kind of stocks that it has. Do you feel that it's probably more prudent to pin it down to a few segments or maybe even a few stocks?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think the Nifty next 50 is a segment I would strongly recommend your viewers to look at from a trading and investment perspective, because I think that's where the best momentum is. If you actually compare the Nifty next 50 with the Nifty or the mid-cap index, you will see that there is relative outperformance for many weeks and many months now. So that's a space I'm very convinced about. And if somebody wants to play the mid-cap story from here, I don't think it's late at all. I think if you look at the top 15 names which are being held by mutual funds, I think they are names which have been quite rock solid in the last few weeks, and they are the ones that will do well. So one could easily choose the top 5 mid-cap funds in the market and invest, and I'm pretty sure that over the next 1.5 years you will end up getting supernormal returns.